Hello guys, welcome back. Good to see you again. So today we are going to talk about the Databricks integration with Azure Data Factory. As you know, Databricks is a very fast growing data analytics platform and it has integration with Azure as well as AWS. So now today we are going to see how you can utilize Data Factory notebooks and the jobs which you create, how you can trigger it from Azure Data Factory, what are different kinds of clusters you can create, and how you can pass the parameter, the basic versions of it. So if you have never used it, let's see how you can do it. So while calling Azure Databricks, it allows you to use two different kinds of clusters, interactive clusters as well as new job clusters. So let's jump into our demo and see how we can use it. Now we are in Azure Data Factory and we are assuming that you are at least aware of the basic notebooks which can be created using Databricks. However, if you are not aware factory, every time you want to connect to any integration system, you'll have to create a link service first. So you have to go to new and you just need to, if you look at, and wait for it to come. If you look at here, you will not find Databricks here. Even if you search Databricks, you will not find because it comes under compute. If you go to compute, click on compute and you can see Databricks. Click on Databricks, you see continue. Okay. Now here you again have multiple options. You can either select from your subscription or you can enter manually. Because I'm using Databricks which is not in my subscription, I will have to say enter manually. Okay. Now I have to give a URL here. Let me get my URL. And I need to provide my token. So I'll give my token here. So this token can be created in Databricks API. Now here you see there are multiple options for selecting a cluster. So one thing you can do is you can say new job cluster or you can say existing interactive cluster. So what is the difference between these two? So existing interactive cluster, if you choose, you need to have or you should have already created a cluster in your Databricks workspace. Like right now I have one cluster created as new. So if I use existing interactive cluster, I'll have to select one cluster which is already created. Because we have already created the cluster, all the configurations are already there. Now if you want to if you don't want to use interactive cluster, what you can do is you can say new job cluster. In this case, what ADF or what Azure does is it creates a cluster on the fly based on the configuration we choose here. So let's see what all thing we have to give here. See, these are the Databricks runtime version which are available. So you can choose any one of them. Let's say I'm choosing 7.0. Now it will ask me to select node type. Now these are all the nodes which are available and these are different kinds of configuration in Databricks. So each one has its own pricing structure. So you need to be very careful what you are choosing. If you want to choose a very high performing cluster, you'll have to choose something from the below. So DS3v2 is the least costly version or the most basic version. Okay. Now again here you have option to choose either the fixed worker or auto scaling. So if you choose auto scaling based on your job in load, it will auto scale to multiple different nodes. So right now I'm choosing fixed. So you can create, click on create and create it. I'm not creating because I already have it one. So what I did is based on this all thing which we discussed, I created two different integrated linked services, right? So one link service is based on the existing cluster or one is based on the new job cluster. That is just to see how it works. So I'll show you both of them. You can see this Azure Databricks, what you see here. This is based on new job cluster. Okay, and the other one is interactive cluster. Here I have chosen existing interactive cluster. Now I'll go back to my pipeline and I've created a new pipeline. Here in the Databricks and activity, you have to search Databricks, choose the notebook one. Once you drag this, Here we have to configure our link service. The first thing here you say Databricks link service because we have two. This is the first one which I selected, and then you go to settings. This is where you have to choose your notebook. One thing you can do is you can just say browse, because you already have connected to the Databricks. It will show up all the workspaces which you have. Right now my notebook is in under dev, and I can select sample first one. It will come up here. Now how do I pass the parameter? So this is a place where you have to define your parameter. You see ID, I have created just one parameter here. I'm passing 2 here, right? The same way, exactly same way, the second one, only difference is that the link service which I have chosen is the other one, the interactive one, and this time it's calling another notebook sample1, and here we are passing ID as 1 just to distinguish it. Now we'll go and we'll see what we have done in the notebook. So this is a very simple basic notebook which I created only for this demo purpose. So first thing we need to do is you need to pick up the parameter which we are going to pass from data factory. So this name should exactly match with the parameter which we have set there. Okay, so we are just, first thing what we are doing is we are retrieving that value so that we can use it later on. Okay, now I am reading my CSV file which is stored in a blob storage or lake you can use, and this is my mount path. Okay, this you must be aware of how we mount it, or if you're not, we have another separate video to explain about the mounting and how you can access lake files. So we are accessing one CSV simple lake file, and we are trying to filter it using our ID which we are passing. So one of the job which we are using, we are passing ID as 1 and the other one passing as 2. So in both ways it should filter my record which has ID 1 or 2, and then it should write it back to lake in a separate folder. Here we are writing out, and in the other one we are writing in the out 1. That's the only difference, and it will filter on 2 different IDs. Now let's go back and trigger it. Let's see how it works. So I'll trigger this one, and we'll trigger other one also. So it will take some time because it has to create cluster on the fly. So I'll pause this video and I'll pop it back. Now I can see both of my jobs are completed. So let's go ahead and check it. Now the first one took 4 minutes 30 seconds, which is interactive cluster. The second one took 5 minutes and 12 seconds. So the new job cluster took slightly longer. And now one more thing I want to highlight is, once this activity is running, you can get the link of it. See, this is a link. You can click on it or you can copy paste. Because now I'm using a different subscription, I'll just copy and paste it here in the different window where I am logged in. Now these are the two run notebook logs. So you can see this one we have called sample. This one the duration shows 4 minutes 46 seconds. This is the one which says interactive cluster, and the other one, the sample one, here you see the duration is 28 seconds. Probably because it's a new job created, new job cluster created, so the time which it took, the 4 minutes is for creating the cluster, and the execution time was just 28 seconds. Now here we had passed ID as 1. You can see this is printed, right? In the other one we can see ID as 2. So both of them has completed, they did their job, they successfully completed, and here are my outputs, two outputs which we created in the lake, right? So this is how you can create a cluster on the fly, or you can use existing cluster. You can call your notebook, you can pass the parameter, you can use those parameter in the notebook the way you want it. Thank you, thanks for watching, and if you like it, please subscribe to our channel.